Yo, what's good? It's your boy Derrick Branch here, Sports View 360, covering the New Orleans Saints today. And today I just want to talk about the news that has transpired over the last 48 hours concerning the black and gold. As on Tuesday, it was reported that Tyler Shough is now the Saints' starting quarterback. Now, today, it was reported that Tyler Shough will be the starter for the remaining of the 2025 season. Unless God forbid, unless Spencer Rattler, not Spencer Rattler, unless he suffers an injury that finishes off his season or he has to miss time. Um, you know what? To me, it is the right move. It was the right move to make. Um, it makes absolutely no sense to flip flop. If Shuck is playing really bad, just let him go out there and play. And see what happens. Because his team is 1-7, and the chances are high, very high, like 99%. I would say 99, 100% high that the New Orleans Saints will have a top three, a top five, or a top 10 pick in this year's upcoming. Well, not this year's, but next year's 2026 NFL draft. The Saints will not leave the top 10. I can promise you that. They will not win enough games to leave the top 10. That's a fact. So just let Tyler Shough go out there and play. And this is what everybody wanted. I would say a huge segment of the Saints fan base wanted to see Tyler Shough go out there and play because they felt as though he was pick number 40, and you don't hold back a second round pick, at 40, on a clip or at especially playing quarterback. But what's done is done. Now Shough he's the last, like, it's like 9 games left to show that he's a guy that is worthy of keeping at the quarterback position for New Orleans Saints in the future. Um, the next right now, according to Tankathon, the Saints have the number one pick in the draft. Now, a loss this week by the Rams, a loss to the Rams by the week this week helps that. And a game that a lot of people are going to start paying attention to down the road in the future is that Saints versus Titans matchup, and that's the reason is because a winner of that game, the loser of that game, probably get the first overall pick. That's how bad it's getting. That's how close it is getting for the Saints to be in this spot. And I know a lot of people out there have been clinging for the Saints to be in this position. They've been clinging for the Saints. They've been praying for the Saints to be bad so that they can get this top pick. And now you're in the prime spot to do that. You know what I mean? And as for me, look, I don't care who the quarterback is. I don't care. I'm not pro Shough. I'm not pro Spencer Rattler. Pro New Orleans Saints. For the betterment of the team. I'm not rooting for a certain segment of rooting for a player because these players come and go. They'll change regardless. There could be a lot of these guys could become Atlanta Falcons, and I think nothing, and won't think nothing about it. Because to them it's a business, it's a job. That rivalry don't mean nothing to them. To a lot of them, it's a business. But they've had a lot of players that played with the Saints and go to the Atlanta Falcons. Bobby Hebert, Joe Horn, David Onyemata, Cade Nellis. You think they care about that stuff? It's all about writing the checks, cashing the checks, man. But Tyler Shough, look, man, this is a very nuanced conversation. It's a double-edged sword because even if Tyler Shough looks well, plays well, but they're still losing games. Let's just say he has like this Spencer Rattler like, you know, performances where he looked good. He was solid, but he didn't do anything to get them over to do anything like special to like overcome the issues that the Saints have. think the Saints gonna take a quarterback. I think. To me, that's just what I feel is though. Not gonna happen. If he come out there and he looks like he performs like Spencer Rattler, where it's not all his fault that they're losing games, but you know his performances have been solid. Okay, Saints gonna take a quarterback because there's a chance that these guys coming out, this QB class coming out, guys like Fernando Mendoza, Ty Simpson, they might be better than Tyler Shough and Spencer Rattler. Dante Moore out of Oregon. That's just what it is, you know. And I just, like I've said before, um, I feel as though the Saints quarterback of the future is not on this team. But in that same token, that same breath, I hope I'm wrong. I hope Tyler Shough goes out there and proves me wrong. And no, it's not about me trying to be right because I know a lot of people out there. That's just all they want to do. A lot of Saints fans want to do. A lot of Saints content creators want to do. They just want to be right with whatever with their narratives, But if Shough goes out there, plays well, prove me wrong, the Saints, and change the course of the Saints in regards to the draft, that would be great because they can now focus on other aspects of this team because quarterback is not the only issue this team has. It has a lot of other glaring holes right now. Defensive line, offensive line. Because to me, both lines outside the quarterback, needing a quarterback, those lines need to be replaced, need to be redone. Because it won't bother me if they take another offensive line in the first round. It won't bother me if they take a defensive line in the first round. They need an edge guy, another edge guy to go along with Chase Young, Carl Granderson. I think that's your two cornerstone players right there. You need one more to get to be on the add to that defensive line. Offensive line, Eric McCoy. You may have to start. I think you got to start thinking about replacing him, man, because he's missed multiple games the last 2 seasons. Cesar Ruiz, there's been fair rumors about him being moved. Trevor Penner, not so sure you have a future here. He has a future in New Orleans, you know. So there's a lot that needs to be addressed with this team. But at the top of the list, it has to be quarterback. The quarterback is the biggest one, and we'll see what Tyler Shough is all about against the LA Rams. And I don't expect him to go out there. I know the NFL is weird like that on a lot of Sundays, but I just don't see Tyler Shough going out there and putting the Rams, on notice by giving them a close game. Would I be shocked if he does? No, because that's just nature in the NFL. Teams sometimes really good teams don't show up and they lose, and that could happen this Sunday. But I will give it a 10% chance. Because the point margin in that matchup for like sports betting is very high. Like I think it's like Rams -13 if I'm not mistaken. It's high. So um, I just don't think Shough is gonna come out there and light it up on this Sunday. Light it up this Sunday against the Rams, especially against that defense with those pass rushers going up against the Saints offensive line. But we'll see how it all play out. So I have for y'all for right now. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know how you feel. What are your thoughts on the Saints naming Tyler Shough for the rest of the season? The Saints starting QB. I'm out. Be blessed.